Hello, everybody, and welcome to our immersive session where we'll explore business value and features of Power BI and Power Pages. We'll dive into building a basic dashboard in Power BI and uncover the potential of AI Builder to enhance your data analysis and web development projects. Let's dive in. So here are the objectives that we will be achieving today. Learn how to describe business value of Power BI, build a dashboard, look at Power Pages, as well as the AI Builder. Let's kick it off with our first learning objective, learn how to describe the business value of Power BI features. The business world is increasingly data-driven. Small and large businesses alike use data to make decisions about sales, hiring, goals, and all areas for which they have data. While most businesses have access to data of one type or another, it can be intimidating to try to understand it without a background in data analytics or statistics. Even if you do understand the data, a challenge may arise in displaying it in a way that's easy to comprehend and communicate to other relevant people. Power BI takes the intimidation and hassle out of data analysis and that visualization aspect by connecting to one or more of hundreds of existing data sources. And using a secure and easy to understand interface, you can quickly and simply interact with and understand your data to influence all business systems. Microsoft Power BI is a collection of software services, apps, and connectors that work together to turn your unrelated sources of data into coherent, visually immersive, and interactive insights. So whether your data is simple Microsoft Excel workbook or a collection of cloud-based and on-premise hybrid data warehouses, Power BI lets you easily connect to your data sources, and you can clean and model your data without affecting the underlying source. So visualize or discover what's important and then share that with anybody. What are some of the tools in the Power BI arsenal? We have the desktop, the mobile, and the service. All of them allow you to connect to sources, prepare data sets for analysis, transform and cleanse, and create reports for consumption. Now let's talk about the elements that make up Power BI. When we're looking at capacities are a core Power BI concept representing a set of resources that are used to deliver and host your content. Capacities are shared or dedicated. So a shared capacity is shared with other Microsoft customers, while a dedicated capacity is fully committed to a single customer. Dedicated capacities require subscription. And by default, workspaces are created on a shared capacity. So when we talk about workspaces, think of them as containers for dashboards, reports, data sets, and data flows in Power BI. There are two types of workspaces. There's My Workspace and Workspaces. So My Workspace is the personal workspace for any Power BI customer to work with your own content. Only you have access to My Workspace, and although you can share dashboards and reports, if you want to collaborate on dashboards and reports or create an app, then you need to operate in a workspace. Workspaces, with an S, are used to collaborate and share content with colleagues. You can add colleagues to your workspaces and collaborate on dashboards, reports, and data sets, with one exception. All workspace members need a Power BI Pro license. Workspaces are also where you create, publish, and manage apps for your organization. So think of workspaces as staging areas and containers for the content that will end up making up your Power BI app. So what is an app? An app is a collection of dashboards and reports built to deliver key metrics to the Power BI consumers in your organization. Apps are interactive, but app consumers, the colleagues who have access to the apps, do not necessarily need a pro license. Then we have data sets. A data set is a collection of data that you import or connect to. Power BI lets you connect to and import all sorts of data sets and bring them together in one place. Data sets can also source data from data flows. And then shared data sets, where business intelligence is a collaborative activity, it's important to understand and establish standardized data sets that can be the one source of truth. So discovering and reusing those standardized data sets is key. When expert data modelers in your organization create and share optimized data sets, report writers can use them to build accurate reports. So your organization can have consistent data for making decisions and a healthy data culture. Now, reports. A Power BI report is one or more pages of visualizations, such as line charts, maps, or tree maps. And visualizations are also called visuals. So you can use these to create reports from scratch within Power BI and import them with dashboards that colleagues can share with you. Power BI can also create reports when you connect to datasets from Excel, Power BI desktop, databases, and SaaS applications. So when you open a report, it's in reading view. If you have edit permissions, you'll see edit report in the upper left corner, and you can view the report in editing. So when you open a workspace, the associated reports are listed under the Reports tab, and each listed report represents one or more pages of visualizations based on only one of the underlying datasets. So to open a report, you just select it. When you open an app, you're presented with a dashboard. To access the underlying report, you select the dashboard tile, and there will be more on tiles later, so don't worry about that. We'll dig into it. The dashboard tile will be pinned from a report. So keep that in mind that not all tiles are pinned from reports. So you might have to click a few tiles to find the right report. Dashboards. Now, you or a colleague can create a dashboard in the Power BI service. They can share this with you. It's a single canvas that contains 0 or more tiles and widgets. Each tile pinned from a report or from a Q&A. And it displays a single visualization that was created from a data set and pinned to the dashboard. So an entire report pages can be pinned to a dashboard as a single tile, and there are many ways to add tiles to your dashboard. Too many to be covered in this overview topic. Template apps. The new Power BI template apps enables you to build Power BI apps with little to no coding and deploy them to any Power BI customer. As a Power BI partner, you create a set of out-of-the-box content for your customers and then publish it yourself. So you can build template apps that allow customers to connect within their own accounts. When we're talking about getting data for Power BI, given the nature of Power BI being a collection of software services, apps, and connectors that work together to turn your unrelated sources of data into these amazing reports and visually immersive interactive insights, you can use a bunch of different types of data to get into your report, essentially. Now, this could be an Excel file, it could be databases, it could be data warehouse, it could be SaaS providers. There's a bunch of different ways to pull in data into Power BI and start working with it on your reports. Organizations have data everywhere, and it can be a challenge to sort and turn it into insights that you can do something with. With Power BI, you can easily connect to model and visualize your data to create memorable reports personalized with your KPIs and brand. So get fast AI-powered answers to your business questions, even when asking in conversational language. So all of this integrated into one service. These all work together easily on the same data, collaborate on reports, share insights across popular Microsoft Office applications like Teams or Excel. And this lets you empower everyone in your organization to quickly make data-driven decisions that prompt strategic action. Power BI's Insights feature helps organizations easily identify items such as anomalies and trends in your data as you interact and consume elements like reports, dashboards, and visualizations. So it notifies you if there are interesting insights and provides explanations for them. So it works out of the box on any report, so you automatically start getting insights from your reports without any setup. Power BI has multiple insights and features that use AI. So insights for reports, which lets you analyze data and find anomalies and trends in your data as you're interacting with the different reports. There's insights for individual visuals, where it analyzes and explains fluctuations of data points in visuals. And there's insights for dashboard tiles as well, which looks at the data being used to render that tile and presents them as an interactive visual. So quick insights for data sets automatically generate data insights on a data set in Power BI service. And then there's AI insights for data models in Power Query, which provides access to pre-trained machine learning models from Azure Cognitive Services. So now let's take a quick look at a video about this case study where Miami Heat boosted their season ticket sales by 30% and saved themselves approximately $1 million in operations.
We make people happy, whether it's a little kid coming to their first game or seasoned folks that have been coming for years. The smiles on their faces when big plays happen, when the act first gets on stage for concerts, that moment is what we live for. And that experience is powered by Adobe and Microsoft. We selected Microsoft because there's no other place where we can go find an enterprise-capable platform to do so many different things. They provide the data warehouse, the Azure cloud, and the Power BI platform that visualizes all of this data that's really mission critical for us. Microsoft and Adobe are the backbone to our customer journey.
It was a no-brainer. The fact that they already had readily available integrations with our existing Microsoft technologies, it was a cinch to really bring it in and be able to move the data from both platforms.
We've got a lot of digital properties. We have Heat.com, AARena.com, MiamiHeatStore.com, the award-winning Miami Heat mobile app, and we want to know what our users are doing across all these different digital properties.
We use the Microsoft Azure cloud to collect and enrich our data so that we can provide it to the rest of the business in a seamless and an automated way.
First, we are scoring every lead that comes into this building, whether it's from mobile ticketing data that we capture, Wi-Fi data that we capture from Adobe Analytics or Campaign, and say, hey, this person would have a high propensity to buy a season ticket, or this person will be a great fit for a retail store buyer.
This data is moved into Microsoft Dynamics so that our reps can ensure that we are on track to drive those leads through the funnels to where we convert them into new customers.
And that's why we selected Dynamics 365 to enable our salespeople to better sell. After we implemented the data warehouse and Dynamics 365, we had a 30% year-over-year increase in our season ticket sales, with essentially the same team on the floor.
All of this information is made available through Power BI so that we can measure our performance, and it's accessible by our ownership, our executive leadership, right down to the guest services rep who's working at the arena events.
Our vision here is we just want to understand our fan. Understanding the fan provides for a great customer experience, but it's also great for our business as well. We now make data-driven decisions rather than focusing on assumptions or the way things used to be done. This has transformed the way we do business.
Let's get back to it. Here's a look at it, the next learning objective, which is building a basic dashboard in Power BI. All right, so now we're just going to do a little exercise. There is a demo that's available, a demo video that we're going to pop up on the screen here. And then we'll cover the following slides where we're reconvening on this topic. And then we're going to hit a demo where we're actually going to build out our own dashboard.
Now that you understand how Power BI can help you leverage your data to improve business operations and decisions, let's take a look at how to get started. Our first task will be to connect to data. In order to do that, we click on this button up here, Get Data. You can connect to many different data sources, but today we're going to be using one of the most common ones, Excel. Once you click Connect, you'll be able to locate the file on your local files and click Open. We can see our data in this table here, and once we select it, it will show a preview of our data, after which we can load. After a few moments, you can see that the data fields are located under our Fields tab. This means the data has correctly loaded into the system. Creating visuals in Power BI is simple and easy to do. You start by clicking on the visualization that you would like to use. Today we're going to be starting with key influencers, a very powerful visualization. Key influencers works by analyzing one of your fields against several others. For this example, we're going to be analyzing profit. We can click on profit, or we can drag it to the correct category. Next, our visualization prompts us to add fields and explain by. In this case, we're going to dump a lot of different fields into explain by. It's important to note that key influencers is a very smart visual. If something does not explain any increase or decrease in our analyzing factor, profit, then it will just ignore that data. Let's expand the visual so we can see what's going on. As you can see, this visual is telling us what influences profit to increase. It appears that the largest influencing factor is sales, which makes sense. You can see here that key influencers is automatically choosing the chart which best displays our data. In some cases, this is a scatter plot, and in some places, it's a column chart. Key influencers can not only tell you what influences profit to increase, but you can switch this to decrease and see the alternative factors here as well. Another advantage of the key influencers visual is this top segments portion, which breaks out your data into various segments. You can see in this segment, sales less than or equal to a certain amount, Discounts and sales price are also set. Once you break out this segment, it can give you specific analysis on only this portion of your data. This can be helpful if you're targeting specific customers or want to understand how segments of your data differ. Now that you understand the concepts of building out and understanding visuals, let's build one that we're a little more familiar with, just a column chart. Once again, we simply click on the visual that we'd like to display and click the fields that we would like to display on it. In this case, we'll be displaying product with manufacturing price, sales price, and for the line, we'll have profit. Profit automatically shows up in column values, but remember that we can just drag and drop the fields wherever we'd like them. And now we have a beautiful new display. There are a few more things to note before we publish our report. One, there is a marketplace for visuals. You can import or delete a custom visual, or you can see the marketplace. If you don't see a visual on the visualization panes, this is a good place to go to search for something like a Gantt chart. As you can see, the visuals are rated, and it's very easy to add them to your existing report. We've been focusing a lot on building visuals, but there's so much more that you can do in the Power BI desktop. If you go to the data portion, you can add and rename columns, and you can also calculate columns and perform other actions to model your data. Also, you'll find in the relationships pane, if you have multiple data sources, you can point to their relationships. This can be incredibly useful, especially if your data is coming from more than one type of source, like Excel, SharePoint, or SQL. It's also important to note that any changes you make when modeling or defining relationships to your data in Power BI do not affect the underlying data source and are only reflected in your results here. Once you're happy with your report and have saved your changes, it's time to publish it. You can publish to an existing workspace or create a new one. In this case, let's publish to an existing one. Once your publishing is successful, you have the option to open it up in the Power BI online service. Let's go ahead and do that. You can see here the visuals from our report have loaded onto the Power BI online service. To make a dashboard, all you have to do is press this little pin and create a new dashboard or pin to an existing one. Power BI service will give you the option to go to the dashboard or create a phone view. Once you have visited your dashboard and have several visuals, you have lots of options here, including collaborating by adding comments. You can even start a conversation with mentioning other people using the @ symbol. Sharing your dashboard is as simple as clicking this button here and entering those you would like to share your dashboard with, or sending them the link down here. Power BI can also analyze your data for you. If you go to your data set, click on More Options and gain View Insights. You can see here that Power BI has analyzed a subset of the data and created all of these visuals to help us better understand. Better yet, you can pin them directly to your dashboard. Now that you understand a little bit more about Power BI, you're ready to get started with your own data. Best of luck!
So when we're talking about connecting to data, one of the first things that we need to do is ensure that our data is ready to be consumed. So depending on the data source and the volumes that we're working with, this might include doing some data cleansing, transforming, and using Power Query. So when you connect to an Excel spreadsheet, we want to make sure that the data is in a flat table and that each column contains the right data type. So for example, text, date, number, currency. It's also important to have a header row, but no column or rows that display totals. So total operations will be handled in Power BI as you create the visuals. Next, we want to upload our data to the Power BI service. And the Power BI service is where you create reports that connect to your data sources. And this includes Excel files that live on your computer. And just with a few clicks, you can attach it to a data set. And then Power BI will create a blank dashboard where you can place visuals later. When we're talking about connecting to our data, we can either create a new report or edit an existing one. So using the editing view to start, on the right, you'll have visualizations, filters, and fields and panes and things like that. So your Excel workbook table data appears in the fields pane. And at the top is the name of the table. In this case, it'd be financials, let's say. And then under that, we've got Power BI lists and column headings as individual fields. So different visualizations are available that you can use to display the data in your report, and other visualizations can be added to the report based on the data that you want to communicate. So after you have all your visualizations on your reports, you can build a dashboard. And dashboards are really easy to build because you're just determining which visuals from your created reports that you want to include. So dashboards can have visuals for multiple reports, and this makes it easy to have very detailed dashboards that include data from multiple data sources, even if those might be unrelated. Collaborating and sharing. Chances are, if you're doing this in a test environment or just trial license, you might not be able to do this step. And I just want to highlight why. In order to be able to share the report that you just created, you need to have Power BI Pro licenses. The Power BI service makes it really easy to share your data sets and dashboards and reports with colleagues. And Power BI simplifies collaboration and improves the outcome by allowing you and your colleagues to work simultaneously on the same dashboards and reports. So while you and your colleagues explore the data and make changes to the reports and dashboards, the underlying data is not affected. So just keep that in mind. If you try to share your report in its current state, you may not have the right licenses. So you do need Power BI Pro. Now let's take a look at building a simple dashboard and how that works. So let's kick that off. All right, so in this demo, what we're going to look to do is build a simple dashboard within Power BI. Again, still following the same sort of theme and scenario. We're working for Bellows College. They've got a lot of campuses. They want to track visitors to their campuses. In the previous demos, we built out the data modeling. We built out the Power App that we're using to track the visitors. We created a way for scheduled visits to be viewed and edited from a mobile device, as well as from the data management platform from the data model itself, where we built out the Canvas app and the model-driven app. So let's build out a solution here where we can view the data that we're collecting now. So the first thing we're going to want to do is hop into our web browser, and we'll go to app.powerbi.com. Next up, let's go to our workspace. So I want to make sure that I'm selecting my workspace where I'll be working, and upload. And I'm going to upload a template that I have previously prepared. Where did I put that again? Oh yeah, desktop, here we go. Visits. So we're going to upload our Power BI. And let's go hop into the report here. So what I want to do is build out the report first. All right, so now that we've got our report imported, let's just go ahead and start creating some visuals. So you can see we've got data visualizations, which contain all the type of cool views that we want to add to our report. And of course, remember, we do need a report to be able to build out a dashboard, so we need some minimums. So let's go ahead and add a pie chart here, and we will add some fields to the pie chart in order to make it populate. So what we'll do is we'll add to the legend, we're going to drag the BC building. So BC building is the names of the buildings that people can visit. We're going to add that to our legend. And next up, what we will do is grab the visit column, and we're going to drag that to values. There we go. Now we can kind of get a nice visual on which buildings have the most popular, are the most popular for visitors to visit. Next up, what we want to do is add the stacked column chart. We'll go ahead. Whoops, didn't mean to convert that. You can see that you can kind of flip between visuals as well, as long as they have similar legend value capabilities here. Sorry, what we have to do is click outside of the pie chart. So I had that selected, and that's why when I clicked stack column, it kind of flipped over to the different chart. So let's head back to pie chart here and select outside of the pie chart so that I can add another visual, which you can see kind of aligns automatically to the previous visual. And we're going to create a stack column visualization. So here what we want to do is grab just the visits field, and we're going to drop that into the y-axis. And next up, what we're going to do is grab the start field, and we're going to drop that into the x-axis. And then under the start field here, what we can do is kind of trim out the some of the details that are automatically split because of the type of data that we're importing, which is the date value. So let's get rid of the year and the quarter, so that it just leaves the month and the day. So now we get a nice visual of the different months and days that people are visiting and which buildings they're visiting. And as we're selecting information, as you can see, the stack chart changes as we select a different building number, or vice versa. We can also go and select the field within the stack column and see the type of information that's being loaded into that stack column. Let's head back into the report and click outside, so now we can add some additional visualizations. So I think this looks okay, but let's maybe make this larger because there's a lot of data in there. So let's expand it just so that it takes up a bit more screen space and make it look prettier. And now let's go ahead and save our report. So far, so good. So another thing that we can do here is look at the drill up and drill down functionalities. So if we say drill up, now you can see, okay, well, now we're just looking at the month specifically. If we drill down, head back to our default view, select October, and we can also see how it automatically filters the different views for the buildings that are showing up in our building views. Let's drill into the month of October. So let's drill into October, and now we can see the different days in the month of October through the drill down functionality. And we can't drill down any farther than that, but we can see some additional details about the availabilities there. So if we drill back up, now we can see everything organized by month again. And if we expand all one level down back to the default view, where we can just see across the entire available data set for those views. So again, our report's good to go. And like you can see, it's pretty interactive as we're building it out. So you can change things around, try different ways of filtering, try different ways of setting your views, and play around with the report to get a better understanding of it. But now our next step is to go and build our Power BI dashboard. So let's just save this again, make sure it's defaulted. All right, so next up, we just need to pin this report to a dashboard. So again, things can change in the cloud, things move around. Just keep that in mind. But when we want to pin a report to a dashboard in this situation, we will just go up here and select more options, or the ellipsis, and there's pin to dashboard. So let's go ahead and click that. Now what we can do is create a new dashboard. So we'll call this campus management. And we'll say pin live. And let's go take a look at our dashboard now. So we'll head back to my workspace. And we can see our dashboard that popped up here. There's also an option to say go to dashboard if we wanted to, but let's go click campus dashboard. And there we go. Now we can see our dashboard. In here as well, we can manipulate the data and kind of select different options as we see fit. Select, within the visibility here. And this is all based on the filter that we set within the report. Now, another thing that we can do is go back into our report here. So by clicking back into visits, and we can go and edit some more details about our report. Let's say I don't like the sizing of that pie chart, so let's make it a bit bigger. Take up more of the screen real estate there for our users, and let's just save that again because I didn't like the way it was looking on the dashboard. And as you can see, when you're in the edit view as well, there's the option here to say pin to a dashboard. So we could have clicked this as well when we wanted to pin it. But let's head back to our campus management here. And we can see that as I changed the report, it did automatically kind of resize this itself. So one of the other options that we can do is add visualizations using natural language, so kind of AI functionalities and things like that. So within the dashboard here, we can ask questions about our data. So what I can say is go into our Q&A here, and we can ask a question. Let's say, how many buildings by number of visits? Let's see all the buildings by number of visits. There we go. Now we got a nice visual here that talks about the different buildings and how many visits they had in the data so far. And what we can do is save pin visual. So let's go ahead and pin it to our campus management dashboard and say pin. And let's say go to dashboard. And we can see a bit lower on the screen here that this popped up. We can resize it as well from the dashboard. We move it around. We put it on top of our report that we had there first. Move all this back up to the top there. And we can make it look as pretty as we want it to. And so that kind of summarizes, a quick look at building out a report rapidly based off of data that's already available and adding it to a dashboard that then we can use to share out to people that we want to. So we can share it to individuals via an email address with the link, or we can share it to a team and have other people take advantage of the view that we have here. So that's the end of the demo. I hope you enjoyed, and please do try it out, play around with it, give it a shot, and find me on LinkedIn, provide some feedback. Thanks. Now that we've seen how to build a simple dashboard, let's dig into the business value and the features of Power Pages. So what are Power Pages and what can it do for you? Well, for example, let's take a look at the Contoso Real Estate Company. So let's say I work for Contoso Real Estate and I want to improve customer interactions by providing customers with a web interface that they can use to manage their individual profiles, such as defining the style of the home they want or preferred neighborhoods. We can automatically send them this information when a new property that matches their criteria is listed. So Power Pages will allow me to build that exact portal and start using the data that we're collecting in order to provide them with that information. So this allows us to simplify data operations by providing external customers with secure access to Contoso's property listings. Not only do customers always have the most up-to-date information available, but it also reduces potential for data entry errors by not needing to enter details multiple times. This also improves day-to-day operations. As customers identify properties they're interested in, they can see if there are any open houses currently scheduled or requests a showing. This also lets us build relationships with buyers. So the buyers with questions engage on forums where they can not only ask questions to other buyers, but also engage with Contoso staff. And this ensures that they're getting an accurate and good experience and accurate information. The Power Pages Design Studio is the main tool that you use to build sites. It simplifies the process of creating and modifying site pages, connecting your site to the Dataverse, and defining security. The Design Studio is broken down into workspaces. These target a specific type of functionality such as site branding and security, connecting your site to the Microsoft Dataverse instance, or managing security and more. There are 4 primary design workspaces. There's the Pages workspace. This allows makers to create, edit the design, and arrange the web pages in your site. There's the Styling workspace, where it's used to personalize the look and feel of your site by adding styling and theming. There is the Data workspace, and this provides the ability to create and modify Microsoft Dataverse tables that are used in the data-driven web applications. And then Setup workspace, where the primary administrative area for site administration and management. So when we're creating a site, we often use a database to store records related to business information. Now, Microsoft's Power Platform's cloud-based data service, Dataverse, stores information like a traditional database, but with the added benefits such as security features, analytics, and automation. So makers can create and modify Dataverse tables directly in the Design Studio by using the Data workspace. Now let's take a look at how we can describe the business value of the AI Builder feature. Let's talk about how Power Apps is truly democratizing AI. Imagine harnessing the power of Azure machine learning and cognitive services without writing a single line of code. So with Power Apps, you can choose from a variety of pre-built AI models or even create your own custom models. And this opens up endless possibilities for your applications. So let's delve into some of those options. Prediction, where we can make forecasts based on your data, helping you to plan ahead. Category classification, automatically classify your text into predefined categories. Initially, we have a model tailored for customer feedback, so stay tuned for more. Entity extraction. Transform unstructured text into structured, actionable data by identifying and classifying key elements. We also have object detection, where we recognize and locate objects within images for various applications. There's document processing, where we streamline your document handling with advanced AI. Business card reader. You ever got a stack of business cards? This model extracts all that vital information for you. There's also ID reader and invoice processing, so we can simplify legal and financial document handling by extracting crucial information automatically. There's also the concept of text translation, key phrase extraction. That allows us to break language barriers and get to the heart of our text message. You can also use language detection and receipt processing and sentiment analysis. So these allow us to understand our customers better by detecting languages, processing receipts, and analyzing the sentiment of the message that was coming in from the customer. There is also text recognition, which allows us to convert images to text, making digital content accessible and searchable. So whether it's a business card reader that can extract information from cards, category classification for sorting customer feedback, or even sentiment analysis to gauge public opinion, Power Apps AI has really got those portions covered. And the best part, the models are just beginning. We're constantly updating and adding more capabilities. So what does this mean for you? It means that AI is now more accessible than ever. Whether you're automating routine tasks, gaining insights from data, or creating entirely new user experiences, Power Apps puts the power of AI in your hands without complexity. Thank you for participating in today's session. With a deeper understanding of Power BI and Power Pages' business value, the hands-on experience with Power BI dashboards, and insights into AI Builder, you're now equipped to leverage these powerful tools to drive innovation and efficiency in your organization. This course has many great topics, so let's review the sessions that are available to you. Session 1, where we describe the business value of the Microsoft Power Platform. Session 2, where we identify foundational components of Power Platform. And Session 3, get started with Power Apps. And Session 4, where we get started with Power Automate. And finally, Session 5, where get started with other Power Platform solutions, including Power BI and Power Pages. This concludes our session, and there are many ways for you to continue your learning journey, and we encourage you to watch other videos in this course or search out your next favorite topic on Microsoft Learn.